Hello and welcome back. Today I'd like to talk to you about the fifth dimension. This is pure love energy. We talked about the third dimension, the darkened room. The fourth dimension is you have a candle which illuminates parts of the room, and you can shine into different corners to try and gain knowledge and information. And the fifth dimension is like you flick a light switch and the whole room is lit up and there are no dark corners. I think that's one of the main aspects of the fifth dimension, is that the negativity can't thrive and exist there. It is absorbed by the light. The highest vibration succeeds, so the high vibration quashes any darkness because it's a lower vibration energy, and it just can't get into the fifth dimension. So it means that all souls that you will encounter in the fifth dimension have attained a certain level of vibration and awareness or higher. So you have the ability in the fifth dimension to shed the ego. So you have a full knowledge that you are a spark of the cosmos, and part of source, and that you are multidimensional, and so the ego aspect of yourself that says you're this certain character here just can't sustain under the new knowledge you've got. So it breaks away, the ego breaks away. You have the unity consciousness is fully active now. You have a total understanding of how you are linked to other souls, higher dimensions, the earth that you're on, the nature, the natural world. You are linked to the animals and the birds and everything. You're fully in unity consciousness now, and your actions are affected by this knowledge. You understand that there's no profit in doing harm to someone else, because it's going to boomerang back and affect you. Not that you would have the desire to do so in the fifth dimension anyway. You are able to fully merge with your higher self. So your higher self that's been trying to help you in the lower dimensions can actually connect with you now in a more complete way. Obviously there's going to be more knowledge and understanding that the higher self has, because they can navigate through higher dimensions, but they can share their knowledge with you and empower you and assist you on your journey in a more direct way in the fifth dimension. You're totally awake and aware of, you have all the answers that you've been seeking. You're going to have them. You can, time is going to be less of a thing. It doesn't really exist anyway. It's only a 3D concept, time. So when you get to the fifth dimension, you're going to realize that time has just been an illusion. It's a tool. It's a way of mapping things out and giving definition to certain experiences. But in the fifth dimension, it's no longer necessary. Traveling is done in an instant. You can sort of manifest what you need instantly, and create things with thoughts. Things just sort of appear in your life as you need them. It's a very direct form of manifestation that will take place. It might not seem, it's not like in a scary fashion things manifesting. The way it plays out is you have a desire, you follow your intuition, and your desire unfolds before you. So it's a much more smooth flowing type of existence, where there's not a struggle to get the way it is here at the moment. You have a desire, and then there's this challenges and struggles and obstacles, and there's a delay between the concept of what it is you desire and you getting it. Whereas on the fifth dimension, you have a desire, there's a number of little steps, and you're there, you're living by the ocean, or you're, you know, taking pictures or whatever it is. You just can do whatever it is. You've got freedom to do whatever it is you want to do, or learn, or teach, or, you know, access healing. The further learning is huge on the fifth dimension. It continues on, because it's like, you know, you've been in the first chamber of the library in the fourth dimension, you've accessed new knowledge to you, but when you get to the fifth, it's like they unlock the secret doors, and you can just access much more knowledge than you could have been able to process and absorb before the fifth dimension. The masculine and feminine aspects of your soul are equal in the fifth dimension. So you're kind of androgynous in your energy, and you can choose to use these different aspects. There's a wholeness about you, where you don't have this lack within yourself, or a seeking another person to complete you. You are complete, and it means that you're not acting out of neediness, you know, pursuing relationships for the wrong reasons. You know, relationships that you have with other souls are two complete individuals who just enhance one another, you know, but they're not both coming from lack and need and you know, dissonance. They are coming from wholeness within themselves. So relationships are different, and people aren't, you know, doing all that manipulation and other things. There's no more struggle or judgment, or lack and suffering, hunger, things like that don't exist in the fifth dimension. It's focused on creativity, learning, teaching, resting and healing, freedom, love, and you can access the Akashic records and the halls of learning, and you can explore, you know, the life you've been living and the lessons you're learning, and work with guides to make new plans for what you want to be doing next. You have what feels like magical abilities, you know, so you can manifest, you can create, you can be places very quickly, be with certain people. You have like a telepathy about you, where you can communicate directly with people. You can communicate in a much clearer way now with your guides and your higher self and other interdimensional beings. Food isn't such a big deal in the fifth dimension. You don't have to be eating all the time and eating very heavy, you know, foods, eating meats or anything like that. That's all going to go. Instead, you're really just providing your body with the energy it needs through small, light meals, maybe a lot of liquid-based foods. Sometimes you can get energy through things like crystals, or through the sun, through the nature in some fashion. There's all kinds of other ways to access the kind of energy that's going to run your new body, which is lighter in vibration, and it doesn't need to be as materialistic as this one. You will, over time, your body will lighten up. You will be able to have a lot to say in how you appear to people. You aren't just going to have a body and have to deal with that. In the fifth dimension, your vibration is so much higher that you can sort of choose how you appear, in whatever form you want to do. There are huge cellular changes take place in your body as you're living in the fifth dimension, so that all the cells are vibrating at a really high level, opening up an awareness of so much more. It's a bit like in The Wizard of Oz, when, you know, Dorothy's in Kansas, it's all black and white, you know, and then she steps through the tornado and she gets to Oz and it's all technicolor. It's a bit like that. You know, the fifth dimension is just very much more. It's more everything. The colours are more, the sounds are more, the emotions are more, everything is more. It's like there's been a layer scraped off it all and you can see it all dazzling clearly now. I have been told that, you know, or the courses and stuff I've been doing, that in the fifth dimension, when you get there, you may not know you're already there. It's not such a dramatic big shift. You will just notice that your life is good, that you are living authentically, you're doing what you want to do, you're surrounded by people who make you happy, everything works smoothly and is in the flow, and you know, you just may not realise that you have actually transitioned into the fifth dimension. What happens is negative people, negative situations, as you've been crossing that bridge, they have been leaving your life. So you might have somebody move away to a different town, and you haven't been seeing them, you know, or you have a relationship split and that partner moves off and you're not in contact with them anymore. You change jobs, so you're not in contact with, you know, your old circle of friends from that, and so bits have been getting released as you've crossing this bridge. And when you're in the fifth dimension, you may not realise that's happened, but actually, you know, those old people and situations are actually in a, you know, they are separate from you now. They're in a different dimension. You just don't have that awareness. And I believe that the changes I'm talking about with food and the androgynous body and the time and the manifestation, they come about more, you know, in a phased way. So when you first approach the fifth dimension, you're just going to just think, wow, this is lovely, I love this, I love where I'm living, what I'm doing, how I'm feeling. You continue to make changes in how you live your life and the things you eat, and taking care of your body and what you're doing with your time. You continue that journey, and as you're doing so, over time, it sort of will morph into this other form of existence. So it's not an alarming, dramatic shift. When you get to the fifth dimension, it's a sort of smooth flowing changes that just take you forward. And I'd say it's like ultimately you have the capabilities there, that, you know, everything becomes available to you and possible, and you can just you know, when you're securely there, you will be taught and awakened up to new things, and they will develop naturally and organically until you're living fully in the fifth dimension as a fifth dimensional being. Now, obviously, that's just from things I've read and learned myself, and I'm open to you contributing to this discussion about what the fifth dimension may be like. Any insights you might be able to add to this, or experiences, just comment below. It'd be very interesting to see. I hope that's given you an idea of what it is going to be like, some ideas of what might come about when we all get to the fifth dimension, and I look forward to seeing you there. I'll leave you with that, and I'll send you many blessings and much love. God bless.